Is guilt over your past failures keeping you from embracing success today?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today here on My Sober Truth. Well, it's May 27th, and it's time for another double shot of My Sober Truth. Sean, no Maudlin Guilt.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I had to look the word up.
I had to look that word. I didn't know it. Yeah.
But it's basically that crying, whining guilt that sometimes happens when you're very intoxicated, but it's just that overdramatic.
Exactly.
Woe is me.
Woe is me.
Sort of situation. Exactly. I love this reading. It was very interesting. And, there was this one line in the middle about talking about what recovery is and what recovery isn't.
Yeah.
In that situation, and recovery isn't tears over defects.
Right.
But it's the sweat over fixing them.
Yep.
And we talked about this extensively before starting this episode. And, sometimes I wish you guys could hear the conversation that happens beforehand. Well, there'd be a lot of beeps, but that's another discussion.
Kind of glad they don't sometimes.
But it brought up this concept that, all of recovery's work.
Yeah.
All of recovery is just progressing towards something better. And so tell me this, how in your journey, and we can talk about how it was and how it is, how in your journey has this sweat equity that you put in, this whole concept of working on your stuff.
Right.
How has it changed your outlook on life, both on, for your future success specifically?
You already talked about one of the things here in the reading today. Another one that I love is, recovery is not a program of don'ts.
Exactly.
It's a program of do's. And so here's something that I kind of, back in the beginning, and I still kind of, I wouldn't say I struggle with it, but I think about it. A lot of this work is an inside job. So there's some of this work where you're actually going out and putting in real toiling sweat equity. Or, you're driving people to meetings, you're going to pick somebody up, you're sponsoring people and talking to them, you're doing all those things. But a lot of this is also the work that you're doing it's an inside job where you're taking the actual steps that you're taking and the work that you're actually doing on the outside. And that work is what helps you start rearranging your thoughts and changing your mind.
Absolutely. But it's a bigger principle.
It is.
I like the concept of this is what you do.
Yeah.
Not what you don't do in that situation. It's just like, me being from a very obese situation and learning these processes of what to eat and what not to eat.
Right.
For me, I focus on eating the right things first.
Right.
I got room for the wrong. In that situation, no matter what your hang-up is, no matter what you're recovering from in that situation, focusing on that right, doing it first, doesn't leave room for the wrong.
Exactly.
So many times in life in that situation. So again, I think about someone who's a world-class bodybuilder. They get up every morning, they do the same things every day, and it changes them little by little by little.
Right.
You don't go from the 110-pound weakling to Arnold overnight, but it's this process and step. And and I look at folks that have been recovering, no matter what they're recovering from, and spiritually, they are the Arnold, they are the giants.
Absolutely.
But it was a step along the way.
Right.
And I love it. So, and again, how has all this work that you've done changed your outlook on what your future potential is?
Well, when I was still in the rehab that I went to, and granted, it was a long-term rehab program. I was there for a year. I was getting ready. I was in the last couple of months of the program, and because of my past, I had made such a mess of my life. I thought that I was going to be lucky if I wound up being like an assistant manager at a fast food restaurant.
Gotcha.
Not that that's a bad occupation.
Right.
It would have been a fine occupation. It was an honorable occupation. And it could have been something that I could have done and been proud of.
But you never saw yourself at that point where you are today.
Getting where I am today. My dreams weren't that big.
Gotcha.
I had enough. I had had a little success, so I had started thinking that I could do something and that I was going to have a life, a sober life. I could see myself renting a nice garage apartment and and working, like I said, in a fast food restaurant or somewhere for maybe a little better than minimum wage.
Right.
That was my dream at that point. There was also a thought that I had about, maybe this is some big thought, is I could go back to school and maybe learn how to work on air conditioners or something like that. Or go back to earlier in my life, I drove semi trucks for a living.
Right.
Thought about possibly going back to that, but those were how big my dreams could get at that point. Well, things have changed now.
Right.
I have much bigger dreams now, and all of that goes right along with me not being afraid of success.
Right.
The biggest thing is probably me not being afraid of failures.
Right.
And that comes along with having these actions, these tools that I know that I can do when I mess up, and I'm going to mess up some more, but I can make amends. I can do the things that get me over it, hopefully make amends to a person that I may be doing something wrong to. I can see what I've done, make amends, and move on in my life, and I don't have to let it eat me alive.
Absolutely.
And make me go in the other direction.
It's safe to say that, one part of this journey is you're changing the habits.
Yes.
You're changing the inside, you're changing the outside, but that something's happening between your heart, something's happening deep down in your spirit. And the very aspect, it seems, and we've talked to a number of people that this is true for, of putting in the work changes how you see yourself.
It does.
It changes how you see what you're worthy of receiving in life.
Right.
And you start positioning yourself to be in better and better places in life.
Absolutely.
And it all points back to doing the work, doing the step work every single day.
That's right.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, let's push this back out to our viewers and let's ask them this question. So folks, how has the sweat equity you put in, working the steps, changed how you view your potential for future success in life? Think about it. It's a big topic. Put your answers down in the comment section below. We can't wait to read what you have to say. And on that note, for My Sober Truth, I'm Mark.
Hey, and I'm Sean, and here's hoping that today you stay drunk with success. Love y'all. Hi, folks. Thanks for watching. If you're ready for another round of My Sober Truth, then belly on up to mysobertruth.com and click on the double shot button today. There you'll find the daily inspiration, encouragement, and support that'll help you stay clean, on track, and growing in every area of your life. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and if you got a minute, stick around, watch another video. Love y'all.